Hey, what's up my wild mustaches, and welcome back to another gold making video. And today we're going to go over a few gold making tips in Legion that I think will really help and save you some time. So let's get right into it.
Hold up.
Alright mustaches, we are back, and it's not going to be a too long video, but I do want to go over a few tips that actually can save you some time from actually doing certain things and thinking that it's going to make you money. Now, okay, so first off, farming is going to be a thing in this expansion. It really is, and I have a few spots that I'm going to be showing you in the coming days to get you some materials that are worth something. If you haven't checked out the last video, go check that out. That video actually has a really good spot to actually farm for a regiment that actually is for a food source for mastery and critical. Now, I will say that it's not going for too much the itself, but it is a good place to farm for a little ingredient where you can actually make these two items. Now I will say too as well, there's other things that you need to watch out for. First off, there's a few rares that drop pets, like for instance Gorebeak. Gorebeak drops actually a pygmy owl. Pygmy owl is worth a lot of money on my server for some reason. It's worth about 40k, and I thought, wow, this would be pretty cool to show you. But it turns out that everybody who actually fights Gorebeak gets it. So that said, it is a really common pet. So basically at the moment the drop chance is 232%, 0.12, actually it's 232.12%, which is crazy. So basically this price will plummet so fast. So if you want to take the chance of going and get this pet and pets like it, go ahead, but I'm going to tell y'all this is something that's really easy to get and will not sell, and unless you got someone who doesn't know, then you probably won't sell this at all. But that's my point of this little tip. Do not go after things that are very easy. Make sure you ask people around you that are doing the same thing if that pet dropped for them. If you see that every one of those people got the pet, then you know that this pet is really common and it's not worth doing. Now I will say I was actually looking forward to doing this with a few of my ults, but it turns out, like I said, this is a very, very common pet. So that said, don't do this, guys. Don't do this. Don't waste your time on pets unless you want to collect the pet. Now, don't get me wrong. There is some places, some rares that don't drop it all the time. Drop pets all the time. You got to do your research on that, and I'll come back with y'all on that in the future. Now, let's go to the next tip. The next tip is actually doing farms that are useless. There is some farms that are useless, and don't get me wrong. You could say, well, my last video of that is kind of useless because, you know, they don't sell. But look at the outcome of what it makes. Let's say you see a regiment that you think that would be so easy to farm because there's so many that drop from. Make sure you go to Wowhead and look up some of the sources of what it actually makes. Now, if it makes anything that's worth a little bit or is really good for your characters, that might be worth actually farming. But if it's something useless that doesn't really go for anything or it doesn't really do nothing, don't farm it at all. It's just something that you need to look at and say, can people use it a lot or can people not use it a lot? Now, don't get me wrong. You could say that all items are used a lot depending on the character and the tune, but sometimes it's not. So that said, just try to do your research on Wowhead. Wowhead is one of the best places to look at because they have a database beyond belief, and it is amazing. Now that said, let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is basically treasure. Yes, guys, what you want to do is every time you level ult to 110, get every single treasure. First off, you get artifact power. Second, every single of the trash item that's in it is worth anywhere from 16 to 100 gold. Yes, guys, they made it where this time all the treasures are giving you gold, but no XP at all, which is kind of a bummer. But to be honest with you, that's alright with me because every time you get treasures, you're getting at least almost 100 gold, which is crazy. And to be honest with you, on this, Legion is going to be the best way to make gold other than any other expansion we've ever seen. Right now, I'm telling you that stuff that drops from regular mobs are anywhere from 5 to 10 gold, which is crazy. And that's trash stuff because all the gears, like basically 200 to 400 of eye level, which are grays, which has never been seen. But that said, I think one of the best things to do is to remember that just because you don't need that treasure or you don't need artifact power, if you don't think you don't need it, you're always going to need it, artifact power. But let's just say it's a little bit out of your way of that treasure. You never know what's going to be in that treasure unless you got one of those, unless you got the map that shows what is in there. But you never know what kind of trash is in there that can actually give you gold. Don't pass up gold, and that's my tip right there. Now that said, that's really what I got for right now. I have other things that I can say, but I don't want to make this video a 10-minute video. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know what kind of tips you got for everybody else. I do got a lot more showing. If you can support this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, stay stashy.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my video, so click it maybe.
Oh, you're still here? Don't be surprised if you find something you like. Click that link and maybe subscribe.